Hello everyone, it's Liam from Gaming Master Race here. Let me just first off start with apologising for any audio quality because I'm using the microphone on my phone to record this. I don't have any professional like lapel mics or anything just yet. So this is going to be a game room tour, but I'm going to start off in my living room because this is where I play all my current gen stuff. So first of all, this is my workstation. This is where I play my PC games. I have an Alienware laptop there which Charmander is actually guarding. The reason why he's guarding is because of this little devil out here. Let me introduce you to him. His name is Loki, one of the two cats, and not looking very impressed. Introduce you to this one here with his own little throne. This is Smudge. Anyway, yeah, so this is where I game. It's it's not very tidy, but this is where I edit my videos and everything. This is where I work currently, whilst working from home during the global bastard that's currently going on still. Right here, I've got my Nintendo Switch with the neon Joy-Cons. It actually came with the grey Joy-Cons. And just my Astro A50s there, which I use for my PlayStation 5. Which is currently sitting in here right next to its pal, the Xbox Series X. And I leave my controllers near my LG TV, just so that the cats don't actually jump up there again, just trying to turn them away. And because it's a ridiculously thin television, the back needs to be protected as well, so we keep them away from that. But in here, anyway, we've just got controllers. I've got two NES controllers and a SNES controller for the Nintendo Switch. They're wireless, as well as some Joy-Cons and some Joy-Con grips. And in this side we've just got cables, charging cables, just kind of thrown to the back there. Extra controllers for the Xbox and extra controllers there for the PlayStation. Okay, so that's where I mostly game. I usually pretty much bring this chair to the middle of the room, kind of here, and just sit directly in front of the television because I like to play my games nice and close. If I sat here, it's too far, so I like to sit a lot closer. Sorry, it's getting a bit wobbly here, but these are just some board games that I have and some Blu-rays. Moving on, we'll go into the main room here for retro gaming. This is the main games room where I play all of my retro games. Again, another LG TV, a size thing. Size doesn't matter, but another 55-inch one. This one's just a regular LCD. This one only cost us about £400 from PC World, and I've got like a little monitor there just for some systems that can't be played on the big TV. Things like the Sega Saturn, which I've only got a SCART cable for, so the SCART will fit quite nicely on this, whereas it doesn't on that. I don't know why I'm out of breath. I'm so unfit. So yeah, this is where my retro consoles sit and live. I've got the Sega Saturn there, the Nintendo and the Super Nintendo currently sitting on top of each other. They're not plugged in, they're just for display purposes alone, and they do work, but I don't use them anymore simply because I've got analog products to kind of replace them when playing on. I've got my Atari 2600 there. I believe that's called the Junior version. I don't have the Woody, but this one works just as well. I don't really play that much again because it's quite difficult to tune in to TVs like this. I do want to get a little CRT to play them on, but until an FPGA solution comes out at the minute, it's quite difficult to play a game on with that, with the Atari, unfortunately. Here's my Master System 2. Again, all working but not plugged in, simply because I've got a analog Mega SG with the Master System adapter. Now I've got two Sega Mega Drives, again not plugged in, they both work, the Mega Drive 1 and 2. The Nintendo Gamecube, with that one I've got a really cool little solution actually for that, and I'll show you that. So it's this little cable here, which is a RAD2X cable, and it's kind of a line doubler. So you plug them in and it gives you a slightly better, well, I say it gives you a much more improved picture actually. Works with composite and RGB. As you know, the N64 is only composite in the UK, whereas the Gamecube is RGB, so it does output quite a bit better. Underneath my Sega Saturn, just to the right of the N64, I know, apologies for the way I'm putting the pads on top of things, it's not very tidy, but I've got nowhere to put my pads at the minute. This is the only problem. I have the Sega Dreamcast just currently housing the Xbox Duke controller there. to the right of that, just underneath the television, we've got the analog Mega SG. One of my first analog purchases there. Wireless Mega Drive controller to go along with that. And we've got the Xbox, the original Xbox, snug in there. Underneath that, we've got the analog NT Mini Noir. To the right, we've got the Wii U, underrated console, I still love it. The Xbox 360, I think this was my 5th Xbox 360. I have 2 premiums, 2 elites, which both had the red ring of death, and this was the last one I had that I've had since, so that one's been working fine ever since. A PlayStation 3 Slim. I sold my fat PlayStation 3, the 60 gig one, because I didn't feel like I needed it, to be perfectly honest, because even though it was compatible with PS1 and PS2 games, I've got a PS2 and a PS1, so I'll just play them natively. I really doesn't bother me, to be perfectly honest. So I've got the Ps1 Mini. Again, apologies for the cables, just kind of flung there and the pads all over the place. Again, I've got I do have places to store my pads, but they're just so crowded. It's just not very tidy. Anyway, I'll show you that. But yeah, my PS1, PS2, and above that there we've got the analog Super NT. So in the games room as well, just to have a couple of figures. Some of them aren't mine, some of them are my wife's. Yeah, the Mr. Poopy Butthole is mine, but Leatherface is my wife's. Superman there is mine. In fact, a friend got me that for Christmas. I think he's a bit of a collector, so I don't know if that's actually worth anything. And I keep some of the boxes on certain things, like my Mega Drive controller there, on Magic 8 Ball, another Mr. Poopy Butthole there, a little bomb, and I've got a really cool Legends kind of Undertaker there that I got for Christmas one time. I just don't want to take him out of the box. He's just so cool. A Peter Venkman, a Toronto Maple Leaf puck, which has been signed. A James Bond figure, and this here is really cool. It's a Crystal Maze crystal for anyone in the UK. I went to the Crystal Maze live action game and bought one of these. Won quite a few. Big Power Rangers fan. So yeah, you'll see that I've got a Legacy Dragonzord there, a Legacy Communicator and a Legacy Megazord, and underneath that I've got a Legacy Dragon Dagger, and these are just some of the figures that we've been collecting, and Funko Pops, etc. Become a bit of a starting to overtake the shelves actually, some of them. Let's move on to the actual games. So we've got 3 mini arcade machines here, which are really cool. Bad Dudes, Mappy and Dig Dug. We've got a 1-up arcade machine here, Mortal Kombat 2. Again, we're having to kind of protect it with a treble right here, and a blanket, because again the cats. This is actually a Mortal Kombat stall. Oh, I've just set the treble off. And yeah, so it's like a vinyl kind of stall, and if the cats get their claws in that, then it's game over for that stall. So anyway, yeah, so we've got Mortal Kombat 2 arcade cabinet here, which is very, very cool. Moving on, we've got these. I'll just switch that on there so you can just have a look. It's really loud, that's the thing. I mean, the problem with these 1-up machines is that you've got 3 volume options. You've got loud, absolutely crazy loud, and off. But yeah, it includes all the 3 Mortal Kombat machines in there. Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3, which is actually my least favourite of the Mortal Kombat 3s. I prefer just the original Mortal Kombat 3, Mortal Kombat 2 and Mortal Kombat 1. So it's very, very cool. I've got my PlayStation games here. I can't remember the exact number of PlayStation games I have. Let me just turn this off now because it's going to be loud. I think it's roughly about 160 something, but I tried to keep them in alphabetical order, but yeah, I mean, it didn't go very well. I ended up kind of playing them and not putting them back properly. And I've got one Demo 1 disc here, which the wife bought for me for Christmas, which I was really happy with, which comes with Gran Turismo, Tekken 3, Medieval, Cooler World, and some videos. Cooler World is a game I really want to get again. That's one of my gaming regrets, and again I'll have a video for gaming regrets. Underneath there I've got Sega Saturn games. I don't really have too many Sega Saturn games, unfortunately. Again, I mean, I was very, very fortunate when I went into a charity shop and found that they were selling a whole pile of Sega Saturn games, and they were all £1 each, so I bought the lot. And that was about, I'm thinking probably about seven years ago now. Some more PlayStation games there. Underneath that we've got some Sega Dreamcast games again, embarrassingly not too many of them, and I've got some boxed Sega Master System games there. Just to the right of that we've got the Legend of Zelda Collector's Edition, Pokemon Stadium, and a Game & Watch. So it's a little bit tight to get underneath here because of this Mortal Kombat cabinet now, which is really unfortunate. This used to be a lot more open, but these are all my Sega Mega Drive games. I've got about 150 or 160 Sega Mega Drive games, and because I've got so many I'm having to double up with them, so you know, I've had to kind of put them all in front of each other, which kind of blocks them, unfortunately. And underneath here, which is even tighter for me now, more Mega Drive games. It's starting to run out of room, which is really unfortunate because the place we're living in currently isn't that small. So yeah, I mean, eventually I'm going to need to find a bigger place. Moving on, we've got some Xbox games, and now again, funny thing, a slightly funny story is that these were in order again. The original Xbox games were supposed to be here, and the Xbox 360 games were supposed to be here. We had a bit of a move around and kind of put the shelves in the wrong order, so I've got some Xbox games here with 2 Xbox 360 games here, some Xbox 360 games there, and yeah, a whole bunch of Xbox 360 games here. So let me just go from left to right anyway. So we've got my Xbox 360 games here. These are actually double shelved. Again, there's probably about 170 roughly of Xbox 360 games, and then we've got let's actually just go down to the next shelf. We've got Wii U titles there, and my Switch games all sitting there. Moving down to the next shelf, we've got PlayStation 2 games. Again, they're kind of starting to double up a bit, so there's more sitting behind. I can't remember how many PlayStation 2 games I've got. It's probably about 60 or 70 maybe. All I know is that in total I've got about 1,300 games in my collection currently, which is a small number compared to a lot of people's. Underneath the PlayStation games, we'll continue with PlayStation. We've got PSP box, just a Mario Maker box for the Wii U, and 3 PlayStation 5 titles currently, and PlayStation 4 games here. And we'll move on from left to right. 3DS, we've got a little cleaning kit here. This is isopropyl alcohol and some cotton buds there for my Sega Mega Drive, and well, they're for my cartridges basically. And by the way, I say this is an absolute godsend, because if you have any carts that just don't work, the myth of blowing, when people say that blowing doesn't work, they are 100% right. Blowing does not work. What does work is spraying a little bit of isopropyl alcohol onto a cotton bud and cleaning it, because you will be surprised how much dirt comes off those cartridges, and then the second you put that back into the your Mega Drive or your whatever system it is, that will work first time. I had that with I had that with Micro Machines 96 and a game called Skitching, which I was on the verge of actually throwing away because I didn't have any isopropyl alcohol and I thought they were gone. I thought they weren't going to work at all. Used that, first time, worked, amazing. Anyway, going off topic again, here's my PlayStation 4 games. And above that we've got some PlayStation portable games, PSP, and some PS Vita. Again, we're kind of doubling up with the PSP games, but behind the PSP games we've actually got more PlayStation 3 games there. I don't know why there's a gap. I probably took something out and didn't put it back. Okay, so behind them we've got my Nintendo DS games, Pokemon Heart Gold version, probably one of my pride and joys on the DS there, because it's quite an expensive game. I think I paid about £60 for that, and I think it's worth either the same or maybe even more now. And then yeah, to that, just above them I've got some Nintendo 3DS games as well. moving up, we've got Nintendo Wii. The Nintendo Wii was one of my favourite consoles of that generation, to be perfectly honest, although it did get a bit monotonous with the whole motion sensor. They just went nuts with all that, and so eventually I got a little bit sick of it. To the right of that, I've got some Nintendo Gamecube games. Not too many Gamecube games actually, I've only got about 20 odd, so I could do with some more, but they're starting to get really expensive, Gamecube games, so I tend not to really focus on them too much. Right now I'm more focusing on the 16-bit games. Yeah, and then some more Xbox 360 games there, and my Xbox One collection, and again, yeah, as we've already seen, the Xbox 360 and Xbox collection up here, and above those we've just got some Lego stuff. This is really cool. A friend of mine 3D printed this for me, so he knows I'm a Power Rangers fan, so yeah, that was a 3D printed helmet. Can't wear it, but it's pretty cool. We've got some Lego Mario stuff here, and underneath this is to the left of my Wii U games. We've got my Game Boy Color, my only boxed SNES game, which is F-Zero, a couple of boxed Game Boy Advance games. I don't tend to go for boxed games, to be perfectly honest, because I can't stand these cardboard cases. Super Game Boy, and we've got some Mega Drive games. We've got a copy of Sonic and Knuckles here. Unfortunately it's broken, but these games eventually I will want to get replaced with boxed copies, because I don't like unboxed Mega Drive games. I prefer to have them complete. But then I've got some titles here as well. I've got like Caesar's Palace and MK3 I'd really like to get boxed. I've got this here, this Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3. I've had for ages, and I now realise it's actually a reproduction cart. So yeah, I'll probably get rid of that and get a proper copy. And underneath that, I've got my Atari 2600 games and some unboxed Master System games again that I would like to probably get. Oh, excuse me, that's really dusty there. I apologise. I'd like to get these replaced with boxed copies. Not necessarily that one though, because that's bloody expensive. So yeah, just a couple of Master System games there which are unboxed, and a couple of old PC games here as well actually. X-Wing Alliance, Dungeon Keeper Gold and Theme Park. I've got my NES games here. This one in the bubble wrap is Metal Gear. And I've got some more coming for this collection. And to the left of that, we've got a mini 1-up Pac-Man machine, which two Pac ghosts are actually protecting on the top there. There's my Pac-Man 1-up machine, also plays Galaga. And I've just got a collection of comic books here, just a really small collection. One Nintendo magazine, a Mortal Kombat 3 moves guide, and that's pretty much that. And above, finally, we've got 3 little joypad holders, Sonic, Vault Boy and Tails. And then we've got, underneath that, we've got a collection of Game Gear games here. Most of them which are in these little cases, which are pretty cool. I think I've got a couple of Japanese Game Gear games actually. I don't really know, I've not really played them, whether or not they're worth anything, but I've got like this Japanese copy of Castle of Illusion. I should probably check out whether these are worth anything actually. I've got Shinobi, Sonic Chaos, pretty cool. And I do have another one, I think it might be another Wonder Boy game actually. Game Boy Advance game that's just fallen to the floor. Yeah, I've got this Wonder Boy game that's actually not Japanese, but this one is. I don't know if it's the same one. Anyway, so yeah, let's try and put those back now. I'll do it after. Yeah, and then to the right of that, I've got some Game Boy Advance games. All unboxed, because again I don't like those stupid boxes. I need to find a better place to really put these, maybe some kind of shoebox or something, or maybe even I don't know, maybe I can try and make my own little library that I can store them in. And then I've got my Super Nintendo games here. There's about 70 Super Nintendo games that I have. And then underneath the Super Nintendo games, I've got my Nintendo 64 games just kind of stacked there. And then finally, I've got some Atari Lynx games here. Unfortunately, I don't have an Atari Lynx though to play these on. The console, I was given them by a friend, which very generously said, you know, he doesn't need them anymore, and he said I can have them. And you know, I graciously accepted, but unfortunately the console didn't work, so I had to sell that for spares and repairs. But Analog are releasing a product called the Analog Pocket, which comes with an adapter to play those, so I will try and get that when they come on sale again. And just behind there I've got some Game Boy games and Game Boy Color games, and that is it, guys. That is my room tour. If you enjoyed the video, please leave a like, a comment and subscribe. And if you want to ask any questions, follow me at Gaming Master RA2 on Twitter. I'll see you next time.